My guy, Juaso, the big man himself, the guy who seems to be doing everything, being a local shinobi whilst being an artist, whilst putting people on his platform. My guy, how are you doing today?
Bro, I'm shaking up at the moment. I'm super like hypercritical right now. There's this thing that artists have, art block, where like you can't draw. And initially, like what would happen when I first started drawing was that I just have these days where like I couldn't get myself to pick up a pencil. So then after I got good, it became weird because instead of being unable to pick up a pencil, I just draw stuff, but I hated it. So I'd do the sketch, but I wouldn't like it. And now the more that I know about how you're supposed to make art, the more critical I've gotten even more so. So like I was working on this comic and I didn't like how the lines look. And so I like erased them and just had this constant cycle of like saying this arm doesn't look right and this leg doesn't look
Yeah,
right. And then I read this on Murphy and I realized watching it that perfection doesn't matter as much as good storytelling. You can have the best art in the world, but if your story sucks or if the visual story that you're telling people sucks, it's not going to draw people in. They're going to see pictures and think, oh, this is pretty, but they're not going to get the second issue because they already know what you draw like. So
yeah,
then my focus, instead of having perfect arm anatomy, it's how do I tell this story in this page and how do I do it in a way that doesn't break my hand in the process. And so
yeah.
having that clarity now, I'm able to continue drawing these pages. There's one comic called Essence Return of the Guardians, and it's basically about this goddess, and she bestows powers upon these girls, and like they go on to fight the forces of evil.
Hmm.
And then there's another story, the elect, and the elect is basically about this dude that teams up with angels to beat up demons. But before he does that, he's in this tournament arc, and so he's like in this martial arts tournament when he's first learning how to fight. And so I'm drawing. Basically, I get to draw uh, fights, which is pretty fun.
Hmm. Bruv, bruv, like, I completely know what you mean. Like, I probably don't draw as much as you, but like, I remember the last time I was just doing the design, I was like, this is terrible. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I know, it's hard for creatives, especially artists. You can just really hate your work, you know,
Exactly.
you know, and it's
Let me
hard.
get
It's
past that.
Yeah, yeah. How have
Mhm.
you got past that then? Have you gotten past it or?
Yeah, it's the mindset you put yourself in, because like you notice a lot of like the highest producing artists or a lot of the best performing artists, their life is art. All they do is like all the stuff they like to read is about art. They're constantly feeding themselves
Yeah,
information, but as a whole being, there's so many things that you like, so many things that you're interested in, that it can break that little insulation that you put yourself in. So like for me, if I'm in martial arts mode, I'm like doing martial arts and watching martial arts movies and watching martial arts documentaries. Or if I'm in art mode, I have to listen to art podcasts and watch art videos on YouTube about things I'm interested in order to get myself back into that mode. So I was like at a point where I was drawing at minimum 1 to 3 pages a day. And that's because I was in an art school and I didn't want to be there. So I had to teach myself as much as possible by watching YouTube videos
yeah.
and listening to podcasts and picking up tips and stuff. And so because I was in the mode of only making art, it was easy to make art and it was very productive to do it as well.
Mm, yeah, man. Like,
Yeah.
with me, just with seventh tier in the whole, it's pretty hard to do one thing on it, i.e., focus on designs because it is a business. And although I am a creative and I am an artist, I actually am trying to make money off of this. But I 100% get what you mean, especially being a creative myself and being an artist. When you can focus on one thing, your work definitely improves. Your work 100% skyrockets. So that's one big thing. That's one big thing that uh that I've learned. I wanted to ask you a question because you do, martial arts. If any of you guys don't know, actually, Ronin, explain what you do. Explain what you do, my guy, because you do quite a lot.
I do anything that gives me an excuse to not be around people.
Yeah, especially now.
And
Especially now, you're having a prime time, my guy, bruv. I'm gonna put it on the screen now so people can watch it. I saw a clip of you just doing bare backflips, bare. sword fighting. It's crazy. Real talk. Explain what you do, my
Yes.
guy. Explain what you do, because you do a lot, and I think what you do is amazing.
Yeah. Art, martial arts, stunts, drawing manga, drawing comics. I'm finally worked myself into a zip position where I can start doing stunt films with people now. And so like we're working on a bunch of cool movie stuff and a bunch of cool fight scenes, and basically um it allows me to have self-expression and utilize creativity in ways that I didn't previously have, and to be a part of communities that are full of these same creative and active individuals. And the best part
Facts.
about that is a lot of
Facts.
people that are stuntmen because of anime and kung fu movies, and so you get that
Really?
similarity as well. And so when I first was a part of it, it was like, oh, you like anime? This other person likes anime?
Yeah.
All y'all like anime? All of these
Yeah.
people became these people much like I did, because they saw the Chinese and Japanese influences and then brought that into themselves. And so now we have black people making entire martial arts movies, entire
Yeah.
stunt teams. We have people like Guy De Silva, Black Panther stuntman. We have Aaron Tony, who's the Falcon stuntman. We have G, who's in Luke Cage. Basically, any like brolic dude that you've seen in the movie is this dude G. He's like this amazing stuntman. He's like Luke Cage and a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. That's crazy. Well, I don't know what you mean, because I'm not doing backflips off of stuff like you, man. But that is crazy. That is crazy. So how did you get into that then? Because I think that is
Uh,
something that is not something that's not something you can just dive into. Like, damn, wow, I'm doing stunts now. Like, you definitely had to have a plan, or did you not? Like, how did you get into that, big man? Let the people know.
I saw Assassin's Creed gameplay when I was 10, and I saw Altair doing these strides on top of the building. And I was like, I need to do that. So I got really into rock climbing because that was the closest thing that I could do. And in Georgia, a lot of the houses have these facade rock walls on them. So legit, I'd go onto the side of my house and I'd climb like 10 feet in the air. And my dad
Wow.
came, because I was like, we came, and I started climbing the side of our house. And my dad was
Jeez.
like, that's not a real rock. If you fall, it's over and those rocks will break apart. I was like, oh, how do I get down? And he was like, jump. And so I jumped and landed. And then I realized, oh, I can jump off of high things. So then after
Wow.
that, I didn't get flips until 13 because I wasn't strong enough for it.
Hmm?
But I started training at a lot of parkour gyms in Philadelphia. There was originally parkour gyms that were based off of Ninja Warrior. And
Hmm?
then there was a second bigger one that was like a warehouse that they turned into a giant gym. And
Hmm?
so a lot of like the parkour community grew up from that. And now there's a third one that's in the city. And a lot of people go there and train and stuff. So I got into parkour when I was 12 and started training parkour, and then got into more martial arts. And the combination of parkour and martial arts got me into like the movement style, where you're like tricking basically, where you're doing a lot of kicks and flips and then using weapons and stuff, came from training martial arts. So I mixed the tricking, the martial arts, and the parkour into a lot of the stuff that you'll see on like the Ronin page on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was an actor when because I used to be in a lot of stage plays. So
Hmm?
somebody hit me up and they wanted me to be in a movie. And from there, I started like climbing the ranks of doing actor stuff and appearing in movies. And there's this dude who my manager put me in contact with. And he was a stuntman on like Avatar and Daredevil and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so he like showed me some stunt stuff. And from there, as I started building my social media, more and more people started hitting me up, and that's how I
Yeah.
was able to do stuff like the Power Rangers, stuff that you see with like Black
Bruv,
Ninja and
well,
all
hold on,
them,
hold on, hold on,
stuff.
hold up. Let's talk about the Power Rangers, because you skimmed across that quickly. Live stream, maybe a couple weeks ago, you showed me that Power Rangers right there, bro. Before you continue your story, which I'm loving. Explain that Power Rangers thing, because I think that's mad.
Yeah, it was fun. I had, as an artist, the first podcast that I ever like really really liked was the Blurred Vision podcast, and it's basically the Blurred Vision, who's like a meme dude, and he had this amazing podcast. I started listening to it a lot, and I
Yep.
made some fan art of it, where it's basically him and his co-star Michael. And so I made the fan art of them, and that got their attention. And then after that, I like saw that they were starting to do a bunch of action stuff. Like they first started doing the Power Ranger stuff, they were like showing how they were training and stuff. And I was like, oh, there's there's action, and they were in New Jersey, and I'm in Philly, and nobody in Philly does stunt stuff like that besides like these Asian people, but I can't get to them because I'm not Asian.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, I saw that there were black people doing like martial arts stuff, or diverse people period doing martial arts stuff, and they were in New Jersey. So I like kept planting the seed, and I was like, "You'll ever need somebody, I'm here. You'll ever need somebody, I'm here." And then eventually I commented on the Ronin page because the page for the stunts didn't have a lot of followers, so I knew I'd
Yeah.
be able to get in contact with them. So I
Yep.
didn't see, and I'm like, "Hey, everyone come through, I'm here," so that I'd end up on their timeline, and then they'd be able to see stuff. So eventually, like 2 years later, Jordan hits me. He's like, "Hey, bro, we're thinking about casting Zach. We got you in mind. You want to audition?" I'm like, "Yes, I want to audition." So I send him like videos of me dancing like Zach and doing kicks and stuff. And I got it. And he said, "Come up to New Jersey and we'll make it." So that whole Power Rangers thing you saw, we probably shot that in like 2 to 3 hours.
Wow. Wow. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. How was it like? How was it like? How was it working with them and with acting as well? Obviously, you said you have sort of an acting background. How was it being on set? Like, were you quite nervous, or were you like, "Damn, I've got this covered. Like, I don't have anything to worry about." How was it? How was it with the whole experience?
Yeah, it was cool. I've been on like mad sets and stuff. So being on set wasn't tricky. It was more like being tripped out because anytime I meet people from the internet in real life, it's like this weird thing where it's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, you're
Hmm.
that person from the internet, but you
Yeah.
don't a certain part of yourself.
Yeah.
So what are you like as a real person?" Being able to talk to these people in real time, and like it was dope. And luckily there's this dude Eric, and Eric had made the previs for it. The previs is basically the action scene before it's shot for real, so that you already know what all the camera shots look like, and so you already know what all the stunts are and stuff. And so basically piece by piece, like every scene, I'd memorize the choreography for that and then put it out. We'd probably do like 5 to 10 takes of it.
Mm.
And that was cool because I got to adjust, like I got to ramp up the choreography even more because certain moves were like, "This move is easy. Can I do another move?" So instead of like a cartwheel, which is like legit doing a cartwheel, I said, "Can I do a B twisted or a B kick instead?" And the B kick is basically a cartwheel with no arms. So I
Wow.
like jumped up in the air and did it. Instead of
Mm.
a regular
What?
roundhouse kick, I did like a 5-4 like that. And that was allowing me to test myself because like normally when you're doing these big productions or these big movies and stuff where everything's already planned out and stuff, it's
Yeah.
super safe, so you can't edit anything, so you can't push yourself as much as you might want to.
Yeah. That's crazy. Wow. So it seems like you're sort of certified in this. And how did you how did you cope with being someone who, I don't know, who's always wanted to be creative and get your outlets out there? How did you cope with being around people that were like you, that were like, "Damn, I'm not the only person who, you know, likes to do flips in my bedroom or likes to climb my house, and although I can die, it's fun." How did you cope with that? And how did you cope with the added fact that they liked anime?
It
'Cause
wasn't
that's a
really
big
a
thing.
surprise. I've been raised liked it all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been raised around people because legit, like I was introduced to Dragon Ball by this 40-year-old dude that was the dad of this girl that liked me when I was in second grade.
Hmm.
And then like I used to go over to my friend's house a lot, and all his big brothers would like legit they'd watch anime and then do backflips. And we grew up watching professional wrestling, so like wrestling is only
Oh,
like lucha libre. That is just like flips and stuff. And
wow.
then when I moved, nobody could do flips. Like nobody that I went to school with could do flips, but they all wanted to. So me being able to do stuff made me like cool, despite the fact that I wasn't ever around people.
Mm.
Um, so it was never like a weird thing to do it, but seeing people do things at a really high level was cool, and it gave me more motivation to want to push harder. So even now in Philly, I'm like training with people so that we can get choreography really tight and martial skill really tight and videography really tight, so we can do our own projects and like have our own fight scenes. Because there's like 3 really really talented people in Philly, but again, we're not around each other, and so if um we might be working with somebody that doesn't have as much experience, or
Yeah.
we might not have the resources necessary to go all out and make the coolest things possible. So those are the skills and that's the community and the mindset that's being built right now.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. I really respect. I really respect what you're doing, my guy. I really respect what you're doing. So with doing all of this, you know, you are someone who you are so creative. You do a lot of things. You do a lot of, you know, drawing. I see it. You've literally got a social media. You got lead Juaso, which I think, if I'm wrong, is your art page, and then you've got Ronin, which is all of your stunt page, and then you've got your company. Now, you are someone who is very, very, very likable, and a lot of people in your position, they wouldn't actually want to put people up. They wouldn't actually want to make connections and stuff, but you do that a lot in your live streams. Why do you do that, and what have you learned by sending a DM to someone? For example, like T-Pat, or like me. I didn't know you before, and I literally just started liking your stuff, and I jumped in your live stream. I didn't think I was going to be a live stream. Why do you do what you do in terms of putting people on?
Charlemagne the God said that you can either uplift the people or have them cannibalize you, basically. And so, like, the way I feel, even now, like, legit, I don't want to post anything. Like, if I hadn't amassed all the stuff that I'd already amassed, I would have stopped posting to the Juaso page because I legit don't want to right now. Like, what I want to do right now is I want to train and draw comics, and that's legit it. I don't have anything to post. I don't have anything that I want to post. We're in a jacked up position right now in the
Yeah,
world, so selling people stuff isn't a prime priority. But I understand that, like, now that I have all these people following me, it would be stupid just because I don't want to post anything not to post to other people. And also, when you show love to other people, they show love to you in the future,
100%.
and you gain the benefit of showing love to them in the past, or or in the present. So, like, and also it's free. It's boring when you're alone. It's boring. Like, legit.
Yeah,
If I don't
yeah,
have people to talk to live, I'm just talking to myself. If
yeah,
I'm talking to myself, I don't need. I can just be crazy in my room.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
bro.
it provides opportunity to learn when you're talking. So legit talking to you, I have an entirely new perspective from the other side of the world, from a whole nother culture that's similar to my culture in many respects, but it's different in so many ways too. So I get to be educated simply by hearing you talk.
100%, my guy. 100%. I think you're so right. Charlemagne the God. We've seen it with a lot of artists. Those that always support the community at a very, very young stage of their career, at a very, very like young stage when they're not very well known. As soon as they blow up, as soon as they get very popular, the community shows love to them back because they supported them. And I think that's what we're doing, and I think it's amazing. And what's one thing you've learned then? What's one thing you've learned with putting someone on, listening to somebody's music, getting someone that you've never seen before across the world on your live stream and talking to them? What's something you've learned about people and how you can affect them?
Honesty and transparency are two very different things. Transparency, you think of opacity, you think of the shade shutters. You don't have to keep the shade shutters completely open. You can kind of tilt them a little bit so a little bit of light gets in, but you don't let all the light in. Same way with being honest to people. You don't just blast them with truth. Because, for example, I know in regards to music, people that start are going to get better. And you can discourage somebody that is starting by telling them this ain't it. You can give constructive criticism, like perhaps do this or do that, but to just say this ain't it isn't necessarily wise. And that's, as someone, I'm realizing that, like, my voice is so it started echoing. So I'm gonna talk slowly. I mean, talk low again.
No worries, man. You're good. You're good on my side anyway. I'm hearing you crystal clear.
I'm glad. Um, Yeah. Transparency and honesty are two different. So I'll give it to her. But if it's just someone, because legit, I was on the live like 4 days ago, and this what's the word? This alternative model popped on the live. She was choking on a phallus, and I had to boot her the heck out the live.
She was what? Sorry,
Knowing, huh?
what was she doing?
She was sucking on a dildo on my live, bro.
What? Wow. Okay. Wow.
Tongue out.
That's
It was
crazy.
bad.
That's
Yeah,
very
and
crazy.
like let that fly. So again, knowing what your rules are incredibly important. So if I was to condense this into 4 things that you can edit out that last part. Number 1, understand the difference
Yep.
between honesty and transparency. 2, know where your bounds and your rules are. Number 3, keep your intentions very clear. And number 4, appreciate other perspectives and people's experiences, because everyone's experience is unique.
Percent, bro. Yeah, you're so right, man. Like, I think being being very clear on what you want, it just makes it a lot life a lot easier for you and those around you, because as soon as, especially in this industry where you're working with people, you get the people who are crystal clear on what they want. Although, say for example, they may have bad intentions, I would much prefer someone to be like, "Yo, I'm going to do this to you," than rather someone be my friend but have another ambition. So being crystal clear, especially being a creative where you're going to work with people, you know, I think that's key, and I think you're so right with that, man. I think you're so right with that. So with, just talking to people, what's the most interesting conversation you've had? Like, what's the most interesting conversation you've had? One where you're like, damn, I didn't know this. Like, this is crazy.
Snap. There's an individual named Mamina. Do you know who Mamina is?
No, I haven't heard of her. I haven't heard of her.
Mamina is, huh?
I haven't heard of her. No, is she like? What does she do?
Mamina is a legend of the Juaso life. Once
Wow.
every few months, she she has legit lived like 90 lives in one. Because legit, very few people have my phone number. Because I've like through life just conditioned myself to never give my number out,
Hmm?
but or to never like offer my number. So people always have to ask for it. But anyway,
Hmm.
and so Amanda hits me and like we're like talking on the phone, and we legit spoke on the phone for like 13 hours straight.
What? Wow. Crazy.
And so she's telling me like how she was watching Ninja Scroll when she was 3 years old, and she learned like all of the Japanese songs because she used to watch VHS tapes with anime on it, and her
Wow.
brother used to have like stacks of VHS, and she's been around for every era of anime because her mom is an anime fan. She is like, I'm not gonna say how old she is, but she's surprisingly young to know. So she legit remembers every phase of anime being on TV, and she like tells me about how they'd like cut the VHS tapes, so it would legit just be a tape full of intros, and all she would do
Wow.
is watch anime. And like she's freaking native. She's a black Native American princess that knows martial arts and went to school in Philly.
Jeez.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and like just like she freaking sings, she voice acts, like she's just out here. She's a force.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I love your lives, man. I love your lives. I love your lives because you always have the most interesting people in there, and I think it's so organic. And you're always doing a mad thing in the background, like you're playing with some like mad samurai sword. Like literally, if you guys don't know, like this guy's got a whole weaponry. Like, bruv, like I'll hop onto this guy's live, and he's got like nunchucks. Then he'll have like a katana. Then he'll have like some bow and arrow. Like you name it, the guy's got it. Crazy. It's crazy, man. Like real. Really, bro? But you need to go into some detail about that because you know is it for? I'm guessing it's for like stunt training or do you just like collecting weapons?
I'm easily bored because I know how to do a whole bunch, and so like a weapon is something new to understand and something new to master, and it takes time to master. So like I don't like I don't play a lot of video games because like all of them basically boil down to you do something, and then you do something so you can get something, and then you go to the next place to do something, and then the game is over and you're super OP in that. Like, and that's the problem I'm finding. Like The Witcher, I love going into The Witcher and
Yeah.
like having to fight a monster, but then I'll kill the monster and get this stuff, and then I'm not strong enough to go to the next monster. So instead, I have to play through the game, and I skip through all the cutscenes because all I want to do is fight all. And so like I might as well just go downstairs and train and become super strong. So like with nunchucks, I picked them up and wanted to learn everything possible with nunchucks, and that's what I did with machete. Right now, I'm learning the Filipino martial art. That's all about the different ways to use a machete or a bolo or a stick or your hands, period. And they all operate from the same principle, which is thing called the
Wow.
triangle, which basically is a lot. And so, yeah, every weapon forces you to move another way, which forces your mind to work a different way, and also
Yeah.
forces your mind to work with your body way. And so it makes you more in tune. Yeah, it makes you more in tune with yourself and with your mind, and also it looks cool. So it's easier to build community because again, I'm not a very social person, but I've developed
Really? Would you
skills
say
that
you're not a
allow
social
me to.
person?
I'm not.
Really? Wow. Why'd you say that?
Not
I'm surprised.
because I can't find immense value in being around the majority of people because I've geared myself for productivity. So I feel like if something isn't productive, I usually won't do it.
Okay. Give me an example.
When I go to anime conventions, legit, all I do is like buy stuff, and that's really like if we didn't go to anime conventions to do like stunt stuff, I legit wouldn't go to conventions because like all I really go there to do, like all I really do there is buy stuff. And now
Yeah.
I'm realizing that I treat socialization like a mission now because again, I went to cyber school, basically homeschool, and then I was always like the quiet kid that drew in class. So I never had a reason to socialize because since I was skilled at stuff, people would come to me. So I never had to like learn how to talk to people. So now we're outside of the context of business. So now I treat genuine socialization like a mission that I need to get better at effectively. I treat it like a weapon with the same mentality that I would with a weapon so that I can have an excuse for it to have value for me. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, if it didn't have value, then I just wouldn't do it, and I'd be in the mountains training somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you mean, man. I get what you mean. So you're sort of a person who just looks for the value and you go towards that then.
Exactly. That's why everybody that I know, including you, is so high functioning and can do so many things. Like your ability to speak to people that you don't know as if you know them is freaking huge.
I don't know, man. I just think, yeah, like even like literally, bruv, like I, I appreciate that. Like I really, really appreciate that, my guy. But like recording like right now, like I love it, but like I don't know. I'm finding it so tricky because I'm trying to make sure I'm asking questions that I haven't asked before. I'm trying to make sure I'm asking um good questions, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting the most out of you because you do so much. Like you do so much. So it's hard for me, but I appreciate that, my guy. I think the live streams are a lot easier for me just because like I I respect you, and although I have never met you, like it's sort of like we're friends, and the live streams are a lot like a lot of a chilled, relaxed place. You know, not a lot of people are going to listen to them. Hence why I'm a bit more crazy on live streams. Whereas now, a lot of people are going to be not a lot of people, but like a bit more people are going to be listening to this podcast because I know you have a large audience and people want to hear this, and because I want to show more people this. So I appreciate that though, man. But it's something that I think I'm just working on, man. And with this podcast, I'm really just enjoying it, man. And I appreciate you saying that, man. I appreciate you saying that. I feel like I do look up to what you do and what you do, and that leads me on to my next question. Your business. Now, explain the business you run, man, because I think it's amazing.
Yeah. I run JuasoGraphics.com. It's basically a platform where artists can sell their work and they don't have to pay for it. So legit, there's no way for them to lose money at all. All they really have is anything to gain. All artists get majority profits on all of their work. I changed it from 60% to 51% plus. So I still give people 50%, but like I only have to give them 51%
Yeah.
because sometimes like stupid stuff happens in the online store, like where you have to pay for ads and stuff, and that can get in the way of like sliding people bread because chargebacks and a whole bunch of stupidness happens. But yeah, we give majority profits to all artists that are on the site. And I'm building it right now to basically be a platform that tricks people into supporting independent Black animation, high quality independent Black animation as well.
Yeah.
So like when you see something, the work that Noir Caesar's done with Exogenesis and Sorority, and the stuff that Saturday AM does with Clock Striker and Bakassi. You see the work that freaking the Boondocks. The Boondocks is a perfect
Yep.
example. Any of these animations we've
Yep.
seen featuring Black people, but in stylized, amazing, action-packed way. That's ultimately what I want to work up to. But of course, that requires funding, it requires resources, it requires an audience. So the easiest way to gain that is by forging a community built on support and on fandom, basically. People that are fans of one entity. And so we're creating that right now.
That is amazing, man. That is amazing. And how has it been going? Like, how's it been going?
It's been quite well. I've given out like $10,000. I'm trying to work up to 10,000 Instagram followers right now. I haven't cracked how to monetize TikTok yet. A lot of my planning right now is creating autonomous streams of income so that I don't, or autonomous streams of productivity. So I spend less time working and more time living, more time traveling, more time getting fun projects done. So right now,
Yeah.
oh, here's an exclusive. Right now, we're
Go on.
working
Go on.
on
Tell us. Tell us.
C.E.R.T is a project that is based on the Haitian Revolution. It's basically the Haitian Revolution with magic. It gets into some of the spiritual African systems that were going on there, things along the lines of Yoruba, of Ifa, of the different voodoo and traditions of Haiti, in addition within the context of the Haitian Revolution. So there's like action, magic, and war, or lore rather. The opening scene starts in Africa, like goes into West Africa, and there's like people fighting, and they're Africans fighting each other, basically showing the warrior tradition. And then a spear is thrown, and the spear creates a crack in time, and that spear lands in the chest of a Frenchman, and the Frenchman dies, and a hill, like an army of Haitians, just like rush the French, and that's the beginning of Haiti. So yeah, that's the project that I'm like really happy for, and that'll be the first project that comes out. So I haven't figured out if I'm going to make that purely an anime or if it's going to be a manga first. So we're developing that right now. We have the first female character developed, and we're working on the main male character right now while also building the world. I found that like building the world and then putting characters in it is easier as opposed to building a character and then figuring out what the world is that caused this character to
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah. I understand. Well, I don't really understand that, but I know that vaguely because I've got a good friend of mine, Josh True, who is a writer, and he's very good at telling stories, and he says the exact same thing you do, where you have a character, you always start with their surroundings to make the character, but when you've already got a place where the character resides, it makes life a lot easier. So I get what you mean, man. That's amazing. That's amazing. So you're really trying to, if I'm correct, just make a platform for black creatives essentially while selling your clothing.
Exactly. The clothing it gets people in the door. It's medicine in the candy. Because again, a lot of artists, the reason why I made the site in the first place is because a lot of artists have print shops. A lot of artists go to Teespring and Redbubble and all these websites. And
Yeah.
then they don't get sales and they're paying $14 to have it exist. And that's because they don't have a community behind them, or they don't have as much support as they deserve. And so instead of having a whole bunch of artists, like a whole bunch of sites, I figured it would be better to just have a whole bunch of artists on my site
Yeah.
and not to charge them. So
Hmm.
when like we're having stuff like 500 people a day come to the page, and we're having stuff like tens of $1,000s a week in sales,
Wow.
then that's when there'll be a tiny charge. But we're not there yet. Basically, I want the people that hopped on early to get maximum benefit, and the people that came later for the clout to have to contribute a little bit.
Yeah. That's only fair, man. I see that the same with seventh tier. I'm nowhere near the level that you're at, but I'm starting to see that a lot, man. I'm starting to see that a lot. How did you manage to get so many people on your platform? Because I'm currently looking for more creatives to post on our social media. How do you find these people, my guy? Because it seems like you know everyone.
You just have a niche. So my niche is black anime, the black anime community. My problem is that I don't watch anime because I'm busy studying it so I can learn how to make it. And so I'm not plugged into like mini shows, or I'm not plugged into a lot of the stuff people are plugged into. So knowing that I can't do that, I just lift up the people that can and big up the people that can. And so when somebody does an amazing TikTok and they're wearing one of my clothes, I'll just
Oh
post it.
wow.
Or if somebody that's within my niche that is black anime, then I'll tag them. Or if somebody drops animation and it's dope and they're black, I post it. And because it's animation, people like it. So the audience usually comes from the repost, and then the reposts build the community that eventually supports the product. And most of them won't support the product as much as they support the content, which is good because
Mm,
that means the community is supporting itself
yeah,
instead of existing to serve me.
yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing, my guy. Wow, bro. That
Yep.
you. Wow, that I'm speechless, man. Because I think this has affected me so much because I'm sort of doing the exact same thing as you. And with this podcast, not only am I learning how to do a podcast, because although this is the second time I've recorded this week, I'm also learning how to, further my business because of what you do, man. And, big up to what you do, man. You say you like to big up people. I want to big up you, man. Big up to what you do. Do you get a lot of big ups? Because I know personally, like, although I'm not doing it for the big ups, I'm doing it because I love it. Sometimes you feel like, damn, I wish I could get a bit more praise. Do you get a lot of big ups? Because you big up a lot of people.
Um,
You big up a lot of people, so does it weigh out, or is it pretty silent?
I don't get it in the way that I wish that I got it, but
What do you
I'm
mean?
appreciative for basically what I am supported by people that think I'm doing way more than I'm doing. And I like look at senpais. And so I'm like, hey senpai, notice me. And senpai's like, you need to work on this. And then I show like
Oh, oh,
a so I basically work for I work for the people that don't big me up, and that's what motivates me to go hard.
yeah. I
Because
I
at
I
this
respect that.
Yeah, but again, like, and it's because it's the easiest way to gain ego or to be taken down by your ego is to accept a lot of small victories as opposed to accepting a lot of big victories. So the small victory, is like being on live and having people join the live and they're dope and they're funny, and so I'm being entertained because entertainment is a finite. It's good. It's a small hit of dopamine, basically. Being
Yeah,
entertained is a small dopamine that I love because, like, who doesn't like being entertained? But for
yeah,
being productive, building, for example, this collab that we might be doing later in the year. That's the seed of that was planted in that small in the small thing of you coming onto the live, and now it's grown into a possible collaboration. Or like the seed of getting a comment from like Namiware, please, or any of these people that have like next level stuff. Those seeds are the ones that lead to bigger things. So it's the planting of these seeds that I consider like the big ups. Because anything beside that for me is like ego fuel, and the last thing that I really want is an ego. But yeah, there's a lot of
yeah,
people that show a lot of love.
yeah, man. I see that a lot. I see that a lot because of your live streams. I follow some of the people, and they
Blur
definitely repost
is a
some of your stuff.
community
What do you say, my guy?
full of black people.
What do you say? Yo, can you hear me, mate?
Place
Yo,
big ups. So in terms of cosplay, who I call senpai, and I was at BlurredCon, and BlurredCon is basically this anime convention or this nerd convention, period, comics, games, movies, anime, all that stuff. And I was in the artist alley because anytime I go to a con, I legit just go to artist alley and just chill with artists and ask them questions and stuff because it's the most It's the most slept on place in any con. And also you get to like know these people. So then when you see them on the internet or when you see them at another con, they remember you and then you're able to like make moves and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm chilling in Cali and I like see this cosplayer and I check Instagram. I'm like, is this the person that was wearing the thing? Because like easiest way to find the cosplayer is you just find what they're wearing that day and then like a scavenger hunt.
Mm.
So I'm like, is this simple? Turns around, I'm like, oh snap, it is senpai.
Wow.
So I'm like, so I say sup senpai, and she's like sup Juaso. I'm like, oh, I'm right. So now my heart's beating super fast, and then she says,
What she
she
say?
says you need to be here, and my heart legit explodes out my chest. Wow, that felt freaking amazing. So no, the affirmation I've been able to get from it, huge. And the only reason I continue to post and keep posting and keep trying to give people things that they will like is because of stuff like that, because of being supported by people that really don't have to support me. I'm
Yeah.
not necessarily, I'm not in the anime art community, and yet people still show me a whole lot of love.
100%, my guy. 100%. Well, you know the reason. You know why that is? It's because you're doing a great thing. You are doing a very great thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and you've put a lot of people um on, like we discussed, and you're also a cool guy. Like I don't really want to just get anyone on the podcast. Really, I like to get interesting people and people that are just good. And you're definitely that, my guy.
Much love, bro.
You're definitely that, my guy. And I respect what you're doing 100%. Keep on doing what you're doing. Like, real talk. Like, you are definitely going to change lives with what you're doing and putting people on, especially black creators, because this scene has made it a bit hard for us. You know what I mean? And when people like you know are very generous to put people on, yo, come on my website, also doing collaborations with people and giving them donating them the profits as well, bruv. That is amazing. So real big up to what you do, my guy. Big up to what you do. Anyway, before I end this, my guy, tell the people where you are, where they can find you, and tell the people what is coming up for you. So what events have you got coming up and what are you doing in the future?
Most definitely. This is Lee Juaso, Lee_Juaso. Follow Juaso Graphics, JUASO.GRAPHICS. JuasoGraphics.com, JUASOGRAPHICS.com for all of the website stuff. We're about to start launching links and stuff. We also have a Discord now. So if
Oh,
you like
amazing.
being on the website, on the main page, there's a little text box that says that we have a Discord server. So if you want to pop in there, just hit that link. And projects that are coming up right now. There are 3 comics I'm working on right now: the Elite, Essence, and Ronins. There will be more information on Ronins later. That's a whole nother thing. And I might make that an anime before I even make Aiti. And the anime project Aiti that's coming up, that is keep an eye on that. If you want to be a part of that, hop on the live. Anytime you see me talking on the live and drawing on the live, we're working on Aiti stuff. Also, Leo and Helen is a project that we're funding right now. There were these people from like that were working with like this insane company out in California. I can't say the name of it, but like they make movie. And they hit me up to do a collaboration on a project called Leo and Helen, which is about brother and sister. They time travel and go through Mesoamerica. And the merch for the clothes funds the show that we're making. So instead of making it a regular 2D cartoon like it was going to be, we're instead making it an anime. So if you want to fund that anime, get Leo and Helen merch. And all Leo and Helen merch goes directly to the production of the Leo and Helen anime. Ty, thank you for inviting me to the live. I majorly appreciate it, bro. Yo, to the people that are listening, listen to the podcast. Stream. If you watch this again, I know it's going
Thank you, man.
to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Binge every episode of the Certified Podcast.
Bruv, real talk. Really appreciate that, my guy. Can you still hear me, mate? You hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Real talk. Appreciate what you do. Guys, go follow this guy. If you do not follow him, you're doing yourself a disservice. Juaso, links are going to be in the description. Go check him out. And thank you for listening to the Tier Talks. And we'll see you guys later. Peace.